Good evening. We begin tonight in Tempe, where a large crowd is protesting at the intersection of Mill Avenue and Rio Salado. From what we hear, this is related to immigration protests, the same type we've seen happening across the country this week. Our crew at the scene tells us there are signs referencing ICE immigration raids and other policies under President Trump. Tempe police, though, tell us that the situation and the protesters have been very peaceful out there. All of this comes ahead of tomorrow's No King's Day, with protests planned across the country. We'll have more on that coming up in a few minutes.
But first, the heat is on across the valley this weekend with a weather impact alert in place from tomorrow through Monday. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. The valley will be dealing with dangerously hot temperatures through Monday, with an extreme heat warning set to begin tomorrow. Meteorologist Lindsay Riley is here with a first look at our weather impact forecast. And Lindsay, just how hot are we talking?
We're talking 110 to 114. Not only will we see our first 110 of the year, we will see our first 1-teen of the year, and getting awfully close to record highs by Father's Day on Sunday. So the hottest weekend of the year so far on the horizon. It's also our first extreme heat warning of the year, and it will cover the next 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Western Arizona is included as well. Areas in pink, these are where we'll see the hottest temperatures over the next few days. Here's a look at the forecast. Tomorrow we hit 110. Not going to hit a record tomorrow, but Sunday that 115 record is in jeopardy because the forecast is 114. Monday we hit 112 degrees. There's not going to be much of a break. It's very possible that this extreme heat warning gets extended into next week. Up in the high country, we're even going to see some triple digits, like areas like Sedona. Sunday and Monday around 100 degrees. The White Mountains, we're going to be at 93 tomorrow. And in Payson along the rim, Sunday, Father's Day, we hit 98. So it's going to be tough to beat the heat. Even up in the mountains, only a couple of hours early in the day will we start off in the 80s. 82 tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., 88 degrees at 8. So get your walk in early because that temperature is going to heat up very quickly, reaching 110 by the mid-afternoon. Mark?
All right. And as Lindsay mentioned, please be careful if you do go out hiking early in the morning. But with this extreme heat set to go into effect tomorrow, the warnings, restrictions will be in place on most of the Phoenix hiking trails through at least Monday. These changes are new this summer, with trails set to close from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon on Camelback Mountain, Echo Canyon, and Cholla trails. Same for Piestewa Peak and South Mountain. And if you're looking for somewhere to cool down, there are more than 200 cooling centers spread out across Maricopa County, all part of Arizona's heat relief network. They include cooling centers, respite centers, and hydration stations. There is a website with an interactive map to help you find resources close to where you are. Just head to azmag.gov/heat relief. You can also call 211.
We have an update to a story that we brought you last night as breaking news. Scottsdale authorities tell us that a 14-year-old who went missing in the McDowell-Sonoran Preserve last night has been located. Scottsdale police were looking for the teen in the Lost Dog Trail system last night and as early as this morning as well. So we were notified just before 8 a.m. that he was found safe. Police did not release any other details. New at 10, the family of a man shot and killed by Gilbert police is demanding answers to how this all happened. Earlier this week, 24-year-old Jacob Rose was found slumped over inside his car. Moments after officers woke him up, the deadly shooting unfolded. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is joining us live after speaking exclusively with the family's attorney as they consider now taking legal action. Chase?
Caribe, Rose's car was parked just beyond the intersection here at Guadalupe and Lindsay on Wednesday when Gilbert police say he pulled out a gun. But Rose's family doesn't fully believe what police say happened that day. It started as a welfare check for 24-year-old Jacob Rose. People saw him slumped over in his car that was pulled off on the side of the road and called Gilbert police.
People were concerned about him. They were there to help him.
Attorney Stacy Sheff is representing the Rose family. She says Jacob was driving from his grandparents.
Helping them change a light bulb, that he did not show any signs of intoxication, and that he left shortly before 6 p.m. to go pick up a friend and drove about 3 miles down the road before this incident happened.
Gilbert police say they knocked on Jacob's window and woke him up, asking him to exit the car. A few minutes later, they say he had a gun.
The man presented a firearm and an officer-involved shooting occurred.
They later said Jacob pointed that gun at them and tried to escape by ramming his car into a police cruiser. Officers fired at the 24-year-old, ending his life. Sheff says Jacob's mother was told hours later.
They woke her up at 1 a.m. and told her that her son had been killed. She's stunned and devastated by this, and she's just upset.
They say Jacob had a permit for the gun. The family and Sheff believe Jacob didn't mean to point the gun at officers, but intended to tell them that he was armed.
And there's just no evidence here that Mr. Rose posed any kind of a threat to the community.
Calling on police to release the body camera video from that day to see for themselves what happened.
But the truth is the truth, and the video will show exactly what that interaction was like, and they need to be accountable if what they did was wrong.
The Mesa Police Department is now the lead investigator in this shooting. We were also told at a later date, police will be releasing what they call a critical incident briefing, and that should include body camera video showing what led up to this shooting. We're live in Gilbert. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks. The man accused of shooting Apache Junction police officer Gabriel Facio is charged with first-degree murder. As officers were conducting a traffic stop, Roger Nunez jumped out of his car, started running, and then turned and shot Officer Facio in the face. Facio died from his injuries last week. Nunez is also facing charges of aggravated assault and disorderly conduct. He's being held on a $500,000 bond. A procession and funeral for Officer Facio will be held this Monday, June the 16th, at Central Christian Church. We'll live stream the service on our 12 Plus streaming app.
Tonight, we're seeing the aftermath of Iran's retaliatory attacks against Israel. Officials in Tel Aviv say that 21 people are being treated after being injured in a rocket strike. The attacks come after Israel launched strikes on Iran's nuclear program last night, a dramatic escalation of long-running tensions between the two countries. Both Iran and Israel say that more strikes are coming. Meanwhile, the U.S. has issued a warning to Iran not to target U.S. troops in the region.
Tomorrow, President Trump is hosting a massive parade in Washington to celebrate the Army's 250th anniversary. It's also his 79th birthday. Crews spent the day unloading tanks and other military vehicles that will be featured in the parade. Estimates put the cost of the parade anywhere between $25 and $45 million. Protests are being held across the country in opposition to the event and the Trump administration.
And those protests are part of a nationwide effort that organizers are calling No King's Day. Thousands of protests are planned, including dozens here in Arizona. It comes on the heels of a week of unrest in cities like Los Angeles, where immigration protests have prompted the president to call in the military. Governor Hobbs taking to social media tonight ahead of those protests, saying in part, "Violence of any kind will not be tolerated. I strongly urge protesters to remain peaceful as they exercise their First Amendment right. I'm thankful for the brave men and women at the Department of Public Safety who are working tirelessly to keep our communities safe."
And 12 News will bring you a special edition of Today in AZ tomorrow morning, streaming on 12 Plus at 9 a.m. We'll bring you coverage of those protests, as well as this weekend's weather and other top headlines. Just download the 12 Plus app on your TV, and you can watch for free.